birthday. I did have to scratch some things off the list. I have a placeholder to say the scores of the Iowa game and the Iowa State game, but I'll just keep moving. Just keep moving. Coaches, if we have a coach in the room for any of athletics, can you please stand for just a moment? Coaches, please stand up. Yeah, give them a round of applause and stay standing here. I will tell you this, there is no harder working coaches than community college coaches who are trying to get students from high school and come to our institutions, and then from our institutions on to that next level. They're recruiting on both ends of it. So thank you to all of our coaches who give their heart and soul to our athletes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Obviously, we have a phenomenal showing of silent auction items this evening. Please be generous. Remember, this is not Goodwill. All right, this is for students. We do great things with the dollars that you donate tonight. So if you're looking for a bargain, this is not the night to do that. One point of privilege is my dinner on the silent auction. It's at that table over there, standing by Chef Michael, who's already jealous because he can't afford it. But I do, I do have to remind folks. So this is a progressive dinner, which means the quality of food depends on how much you want to pay. If you want a couple $100, you could build hot dogs, and then, we go from there. But shout out to Matt Dutcher, Northwestern Bank president, who we just hosted it last weekend, and we had smoked beef tenderloin, and I think it was like 3 gallons of Old Fashioned. So we had a great evening. So be on the lookout for that. Chef does have the secondary one. He also has a dinner on there this evening. So. Past Hall of Fame inductees in attendance, please stand up. Past inductees, please stand up. I believe we have Lisa Shimkat, Denny Fredericks, Tommy Thompson, Dennis Belcher, Dr. Eric Pearson, Charlie Walker. And again, in this, please forgive me if I forget someone's specific name. It's a long, exhaustive list, but thank you for being here. Tonight, we also have community school partners. We have Fort Dodge Community School District and St. Ed's. If you all could please stand up. We have Superintendent Porter, Kate Stuckey with the St. Ed's. We have Susan Lofeswaller and Brandon Hansel. Please give them a round of applause for our fantastic local schools. Board of Trustees, I will tell you this, no institution can be successful without positive leadership at the board level. And regardless of what ideas that we can come up with, if you don't have a board who believes in a vision and is committed to Iowa Central, we don't move forward. And obviously, since 1966, we've had phenomenal board members who have moved our institution forward. If my Board of Trustees could please stand up. I know we have Mark Crimmins, Larry Heck, Andrea Oswald, Mike Richards, and Connie Smith here with us this evening. And please remember, I recognize you during my evaluation. Foundation Board, please stand up. Zach Clark, Ed Shimkap, I believe Gabe Pettit is here this evening. Please give our Foundation Board of Directors a round of applause. The 2 boards that I just recognized are integral in our success. They're non-paid, non-compensated board members. Our foundation works their tail off to raise significant funds, the last one being the Center for Performing Arts Capital Campaign. If you haven't driven past the campus to see all of those good things, it's a contribution to the great work that they're doing. The people who actually put all of this together tonight, led by Mary Ludwig, the Hall of Fame Planning Committee, please stand up. Hall of Fame Planning Committee, please stand up. Faculty and staff, if you're a member of our faculty and staff who are currently at Iowa Central, can you please stand up? Because these are the reasons that we are so successful as the people that we have. Thank you. Well done. We have former faculty and staff members. If you used to work for Iowa Central, have retired, moved on, etc., please stand up so we can recognize you and thank you for your contributions. Yeah. And I'm going to call him out right now, but a judge has told me for 4 years now that he wants to come and have coffee with me and talk, but he hasn't showed up in the office. So, Judge, let's make sure that I don't have to say the same thing next year. So, come on into town. We'll talk. And then, last but no, we have, we all recognize them, Great Western Dining. If our Great Western Dining folks could raise their hand and give us a big wave, we appreciate Great Western Dining. Just a note about Great Western, and part of the reason they're being inducted tonight as our humanitarian awards, those of us who remember our history of Iowa Central remember the early to mid-'90s when this campus wasn't what it is today. And we were looking for a partner to try to make things better, and Great Western came to town and has been a fantastic partner for Iowa Central since the mid-'90s. So we thank them for their generosity, and more importantly, we thank them for being student-centered and continuing the great work to make sure our students have a fantastic experience while they're here on campus. So thank you. We have some great people tonight, and this is the part where I remind everybody about the purpose of Iowa Central Community College. And we like to summarize it like this. We want students to come to Iowa Central. We want them to finish their degrees and their certifications in the shortest amount of time possible with the least amount of student loan debt so that they can go on and have a better life. We truly believe that education at this level is still the great equalizer in our society and in America, and certainly the great equalizer in our society. We believe Iowa Central is in a unique and important role in making sure the economic development of our county and our region is very, very strong. I also want to recognize Astra Ferris, our CEO of the Fort Dodge Greater Growth Alliance. Where's Astra at? She is here. Go ahead, stand, Astra. Astra is fairly new, starting year 2, but she has been a phenomenal addition to our region. So please give Astra a round of applause. Tonight we're going to hear some great stories. Not all of them we can share because we're inducting a wrestling team. So I've already heard some of them behind the scenes, but I can't wait what actually becomes microphone appropriate to be able to share. I can't believe, honestly speaking, our wrestling team has been one of the core athletic programs here at Iowa Central who year in and year out competes at a high level. So we're absolutely fanatic that tonight we get to induct our first wrestling Hall of Fame. You also have some individuals, just to name a couple, Bobby Thompson, who honestly is being inducted on the athletic side tonight, but with his coaching career at Fort Dodge Community School District and the young men that he's led, could have been inducted on both sides, as a distinguished alumni or on the athletics. We have Barb Crooks. For the record, no NIL money was paid to get Audie Crooks here tonight. And I do want to make sure we put things in order because I often say, you know, Barb Crooks being, oh yes, that's Audie Crooks' aunt. Well, tonight, no. Audie Crooks is Barb Crooks' niece. Yes. Mel Schroeder. I have to personally apologize to Mel. Mel has been a long-time backbone of our faculty and staff for many, many years. I thought Mel was already inducted. So tonight, we get to make sure history has the right piece for Mel Schroeder as we put him into our Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Mel. We have two phenomenal MCs with us tonight. We have Kevin Twade and Teresa Jackson, and I just want to make sure that I make note. Kevin Twade has announced his retirement. I disagreed with him. I told him no, but apparently Kathy has a to-do list of a phenomenal career that Coach Twade has had with us. My prediction, you can write it on the calendar, I'm assuming Coach Twait is going to be back here several years down the road and having a corsage on himself for a very different reason. But Coach Twait, we love you. We wish you nothing but the best in your retirement, and I'm going to use the heck out of you until you're done at the end of June. So thank you for your service. Appreciate you. So with that, you did not come here tonight to listen to me. And I'm going to turn it now to Teresa Jackson, who is really, she's never been happier in her career. I mean, all you got to do is give her a Center for Performing Arts, and she's ready to go. So with that, please welcome to the stage Teresa Jackson. Congratulations.
So nice to have a president who can talk. When are we going to get one of those? I'm sorry. I meant to say that, turn that off there. By my count now, I have been honored to introduce and welcome 90 people into the Iowa Central Hall of Fame. This might reveal both my age and my expiration date. And I love meeting and inducting homegrown heroes. There's always something so poignant about the full circle moment. I find it moving when people plant roots where they are born and they scatter their seeds of success in the very spot where their lives began. One such individual born and raised here is Mark Campbell. Mark will soon share how his journey with Iowa Central began even prior to his walking on our campus as a student who graduated in 1990. His voyage from here took him to UNI to study finance, and he soon found himself diving into the business of feeding people. I asked him what inspired his passion as a restaurateur, and he said he just loved serving others. And what better way is there than to bring them together to share a good meal and to connect over a good conversation? And this service has, quite simply, led to extensive success. Mark has owned several prominent restaurants here in Fort Dodge, including the ever-popular Amigos down by the riverside, which he began in 1997. In his nomination form, Nick Carlson writes, "One of Mark's most admirable qualities is his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. He has a unique talent for making everyone feel valued and heard, whether he's preparing pizzas at Amigos or discussing important issues with leaders in Washington, D.C. His genuine care for others and his relentless drive to make a difference set him apart as a truly distinguished individual. It has been an honor to witness Mark's dedication and passion firsthand. But Mark did not just invest his energies in the business. He made an impact on his community as well. Nikki Conrad expanded on this in her comments. I am writing to endorse an incredibly selfless and qualified alum who has not only accomplished so much in our community, but has also given back tenfold. His enthusiasm, especially when he gleefully distributes bouncy balls at parades throughout the county, or energizes during conversations about how we as a community can do and be better. Mark's commitment to emphasizing the collective spirit of we in Webster, along with his drive to showcase the region's positive features, proves him to be the ultimate ambassador for Webster County and Iowa Central. He serves as an active, visible leader, not just locally, but also at the regional, state, national, and international levels. He wears his roots as a badge of honor everywhere he goes. In talking to Mark about his work in and among the community, I asked what his greatest professional honor was. And he said that having the opportunity to serve for years with a board of supervisors afforded him such meaningful interactions with a host of Webster County mentors in our area. Nick Carlson applauded Mark for his work there by writing, "In Webster County, Mark has become a beacon of leadership and positivity. His work in promoting our region's strengths and fostering a sense of unity has had a profound impact." Indeed, Mark held leadership roles on the Webster County Board of Health, the Solid Waste Commission, the Mental Health Advisory Board. He was elected unanimously to be the third VP of the Iowa State Association of Counties Board of Directors, and quite prominently was appointed by Governor Kim Reynolds to the Iowa Racing and Gaming Commission. Because of Mark's tireless efforts to better our community, to improve the lives of all those around him, and to passionately invest his energies in public service, we are incredibly proud to claim him not only as an Iowa Central grad, but also to welcome him into the Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Mark Campbell.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah, it's not too often I'm speechless, but I'm kind of speechless here. And in 2018, I had the honor of being recognized by the rugby team, and I've had the privilege to do a lot of stuff with them. And I told Nellie back then when he gave me the ring, I didn't know where I'd ever be able to wear it, but I found a place I get to wear it tonight, sir, so thank you very much. Thank you to Iowa Central staff, the Hall of Fame committee, and all the individuals who made this incredible honor possible. A special thank you to my fellow inductees, Barb Crooks, Mel Schroeder, Bobby Thompson, Darylyn Dunn, as well as the 2009 men's wrestling team and Great Western Dining. But most importantly, I want to express my deepest gratitude to my beautiful wife, Chris Ann, my mom, my family, and my sister Lynn for being here tonight. Your unwavering support means the world to me. Iowa Central Community College has been part of my life long before I stepped foot on this campus as a student. This place holds some of the most cherished memories, and many of you may not know that Iowa Central was already a big part of my story before I attended classes. You see, my father was a custodian here. For many years while I was in high school, I'd come out here and sit and visit with him on his breaks. We'd sit in the former Triton Inn and just talk. Over time, people would stop and join us, students, coaches, staff. Even Dr. Paxton was known to join us for a soda. We'd share a soda and laugh, and I saw firsthand how my dad surrounded himself with the best people. His laughter and warm presence still echo in my memory. And I know those of you who knew him well will agree. He was a man that knew how to build connections. Watching my dad, I learned an important lesson that has stuck with me to this day. The people you surround yourself with matter. They shape who you are. So I urge you to surround yourself with people who have your back when you're not in the room. Find those who challenge you, hold you accountable, offer praise when it's due, and let's face it, we're often last to acknowledge when it's due. Find the people that push you to be better and put a smile on your face when you see them. For me, Iowa Central isn't just about the education, but it's about the relationships that have lasted a lifetime. The people here have helped shape who I am today, and I am forever grateful for that. None of this would be possible, of course, without the incredible people Iowa Central brought into my life, like Ray Beats, Lonnie Anderson, Dr. Paxton, and Mel Schroeder. Excuse me, who made such an impact on me in my early years. And today I continue to look up to the people like Dr. Kinney, Dr. Ulrich, Jim Kirsten, and my good friend, Professor Sean Hakey. Their mentorship has shaped me, and I am proud to have been part of this community. From my time as a student to the present, Iowa Central has always been there for me. It's been a part of my journey, adapting to the times and helping the community to grow. One example of this was in 2012 when CJ Bio, a South Korean company, began building its plant at Iowa's crossroads of global innovation, or our Ag Park. Iowa Central was there every step of the way, assisting and training CJ's employees. Later, CJ called it their most successful startup in company history, that coming from a company that was founded in 1938. Since then, Iowa Central has continued to be a model for all of us to follow, proving time and time again it's more than an educational institution. Iowa Central is a catalyst for growth and innovation. When we step onto this campus, we all feel something special, a sense of belonging. And no matter where life takes us, it's easy to say, I may have left Iowa Central, but Iowa Central has never left me. The foundation it has given me has been invaluable, not only for my personal growth, but also for the communities and the county we call home. Finally, I'd like to leave you all with this thought. Let's never stop talking. We can disagree, but when we stop having a conversation, when we stop listening to each other, that's when we fail. Let's keep the dialogue going for ourselves and those around us, because when we stop talking, we stop growing. Thank you once again. It's an honor to be here with you tonight, and I am deeply humbled by this recognition.
There's a quote I've always loved by Nelson Mandela, which goes like this: "A leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that all along they are being directed from behind." Now, I don't think Mr. Mandela ever crossed paths with Mel Schroeder, but he certainly was describing his sacrificial leadership style. And I consider it a privilege to have been part of that early flock with such a steady shepherd. Jim Kirsten echoes this sentiment as well by writing that Mel Schroeder has worked all his career in the trenches with little or no fanfare, but always helping to get the job done. Before his distinguished career at Iowa Central, Mel began his teaching journey as a business education teacher in Columbus Junction, Iowa. His service in the U.S. Army came when they called him early in his career, and his commitment to excellence earned him the Army Commendation Medal during his time there. As Tom Beneke shares, Mel joined Iowa Central in 1967, and from the outset, he demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the college's mission. His dedication and leadership quickly catapulted him from instructor to vice president of academic affairs, and in this capacity, he played a pivotal role in steering Iowa Central through a period of unprecedented growth and expansion from the late 90s until his retirement in 2001. His influence extended way beyond administrative duties, for he was instrumental in shaping policies and procedures that impacted every facet of our institution. Teresa Naughton echoed this praise in her recommendation. She writes, "In the early formation of Iowa Central, its officials were finding their way to fulfill their mission of not only teaching and job training, but also assisting the public and other agencies to benefit the six-county trade area. These efforts were rough, often bordering on empire building, turf protection, not the friendliest to others. With all the bureaucracy, outsiders found Mel to be the voice of reason, who soothed opinions and built consensus. His presence in the discussions helped catapult Iowa Central to becoming one of the major players in the recovery from the 1980s farm crisis, and ultimately morphed into the overall success Area 5 has achieved in economic development." Tom Beneke agreed and added that what set Mel apart was not only his professional acumen, but also his profound compassion and empathy. Beyond his professional achievements, Mel is cherished for his warmth, integrity, and dedication to his family and his community. And the community was part of another flock that Mel tended. As Jim Kirsten pointed out, Mel has always been dedicated to community service. In fact, he's been on the board of directors and holding leadership positions which served a host of civic organizations, ranging from New Rotary, he's a 41-year member, the Greater Fort Dodge Chamber of Commerce, Friendship Haven Memorial Foundation, United Way, the Salvation Army, Foster Grandparents, March of Dimes, and LifeWorks since its inception, and is key in forming its charitable foundation. Mel is also a member of the Webster County Vision Committee and the Brushy Creek Area Honor Flight Board of Directors, which just completed its 25th trip to D.C. He was with them since its inception in 2009, and he still serves as treasurer. No similar program in Iowa can show this degree of success for a small rural area. I would also like to share a note I received from Bob Paxton about your induction, Mel. He writes, Mel and Joe, when you drove onto campus today, you had to be so proud. Mel, you were at the cornerstone of the instructional changes that made Iowa Central what it is today. For those who don't know, in the mid-90s until Mel retired may have been the hardest of his career, yet it was the most meaningful for the college. The college made many decisions that impacted him and his longtime colleagues, but that did not deter his commitment. He put in place great department chairs like Connie Boyd, Dave Grosland, Mary Sulalini, Ray Beats, and they transformed the academic programs and services of the college. He hired great faculty, many of whom are still at the college today. What Mel did during that time is nothing short of remarkable. Galatians 5 lists the fruits of the Spirit, and now each one is evidenced in the way that you live your life. If you know Bob, he would be crying right about now, so if I do cry, let's just say I'm a good actress and I'm embodying Bob Paxton, although I have a little bit more hair. He says this, you embody the qualities and the values that define a truly exceptional faculty and staff member. And I am most honored to have been a part of your flock and the one chosen to shine a spotlight on one of our most treasured shepherds. Would you please join me with welcoming Mr. Melvin Schroeder into the distinguished faculty and staff. Well done.
Well done. Thank you, Teresa, for those warm, sincere remarks. We've had a wonderful time together, and I really appreciate your comments. First of all, I want to recognize my wife, who has put up with me for 54 years, going on 55. Another thing, too, if you notice the pictures, my earlier life, I really had a full head of hair at one time. But very honored to be here. I want to thank, first of all, Dr. Ulrich, Mary Ludwig, and other people. I'm not too sure who all was instrumental in my nomination, but you know who you are, and I really want to thank you for that. I had the privilege, as Teresa said, to be in the ground of Iowa Central. I came in 1967, and the campus consisted of about 8 temporary buildings, a 4-H building that was over here, and the old Dodger bowling alley, which is now LifeWorks. It's unbelievable what you see today from where we started. There was a boulevard out here which is now closed, and whenever it rained, it was just a pit of snow and ice, and it was just unbelievable. When I came to Iowa Central, of course, it was the first year of classes, and a lot of new faculty were hired, and 12 of us were put into one half of the temporary building. We called it the bullpen. There was one female instructor, however, and I'd like to recognize one member of that bullpen who is with us tonight, and that is Norm Caldwell over here. If you want to raise your hand, Norm. And he tells me that Dr. Ulrich was one of his students. If you want to find out about more, talk to Norm. You might be surprised or not surprised, but he did say you were a very good student. And I had the privilege of not only being a faculty member for 5 years, and then I was in the Adult and Community Education Division for 10 years, and then for the remaining time I was in Central Administration. Looking back, I can't think of any place I would rather have worked than here at Iowa Central. I mentioned the bullpen. We developed a friendship that has lasted throughout the years and still today for those of us that are still living. I think that the college is certainly recognized today as being not only the premier community college in Iowa, but throughout the nation. I had the privilege of working under 4 presidents, starting with Dr. Barber, Dr. Martin, Dr. Bottenfield, and of course Dr. Paxton. I think the college is what it is today because of the leadership of certainly Dr. Ulrich and his predecessors and the Board of Education. And I think we just can't take it for granted what a fabulous institution we have today. Any young student who wants to have a career certainly should think of Iowa Central. It's just a great place, and I think we have evidence of this with Mark Campbell. I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to congratulate the other members of the Hall of Fame, and I am truly honored and humbled to be included in this recognition. So thank you very much.
Well, we've already traveled back in time with Mel, so allow me to linger there a few moments longer. The year was 1995, and Iowa Central had fewer than 70 students in the dorms. Dr. Bob Paxton was in his initial years with the college, and he discovered what he labeled awful food service. Knowing the importance of food to college students, he called Warren Hunt, the owner and founder of Great Western Dining. Now, he and Warren went back 10 years, and Bob trusted what he could do for the college. So allow me to sidebar here for a moment to tell you that Warren Hunt had founded the company just 5 years earlier out of Tipton, Missouri. And because his career began in sales, he saw the best from higher education dining services all over the United States and the worst. And he recognized the need for a company to focus not only on providing quality food and service, but to do so with integrity and a high regard for people, both the clients served and the company's employees. And he just knew he could build a company to satisfy that need within the marketplace. So, when Dr. Bob called, Warren's reply was this: Bob, we have 2 problems. 1, you're too small, and 2, you're located in Iowa. We're in Texas, Missouri, and Kansas, so I don't think we can take the account. By this point, Bob was grasping, so he made a bold pitch. He promised Warren that the college would grow from 70 to 125 by fall, 200 by fall 1996, and that Iowa Central would become Great Western's largest account by the year 2000. So Warren agreed to a visit. He came with Steve and Monica Rowden. Now, those of us who are old-timers remember them fondly. So they all drove up one spring day, and after touring the very limited facility, Warren looked at Bob and he said, we're creating suspense here. You kind of know the end of the story, but he said, I'm going to do you one better. You get Steve and Monica. So that day, they made an agreement, and the board accepted. And now, about 30 years later, Iowa Central is Great Western's flagship community college partner, and they have provided us with an alliance that is at the cornerstone of our growth and success. As Bob shared with me, Iowa Central would not be where it is without the partnership of Great Western and without the work that was invested by Monica, Steve, and Warren. So today, Great Western Dining has built their outstanding reputation on excellence and has grown primarily through client referrals. They provide dining services for community colleges, private colleges, universities, and corporate dining locations. And the recommendations from current clients and customers clearly illustrates who they are and their dedication to getting the job done for those they serve. All Great Western Dining employees, from top management to their all-important frontline staff, achieve high levels of productivity and morale because they recognize that theirs is a people-driven community. Tom Beneke also sings their praises. Well, maybe not sings, because none of us would want to endure that. But he shares these thoughts. We appreciate beyond measure our partnership with Great Western Dining. They are an integral part of providing our students with a top-tier collegiate atmosphere and experience. Iowa Central is known as a mini university, and Great Western helps us accomplish that. They are laser-focused on making our students feel special by offering them more than a typical dining experience. For example, they incorporate special occasions, our annual welcome back barbecues, late night breakfasts, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners, Valentine's treats, special finals week pick-me-ups, graduation celebratory foods, Hall of Fame celebratory foods, and more. Many community members have made our cafe a go-to destination, recognizing the amazing food at such affordable prices. Furthermore, Great Western has not only been a provider of services, but they have also invested in us by contributing in excess of $1 million. This very facility is a testament of their support. So tonight, we pay homage to the journeys of the past that brought our paths together, and the continued partnership that continues to shape the landscape of our campus and the services we are able to provide a new generation of students. Would you please join me in welcoming John Nilgis, the current CEO from Kansas City, to accept perhaps our most prestigious honor, the Iowa Central Humanitarian Hall of Fame.
Might have to move this up a little. Wow, what do I say after that intro? Again, my name is John Nilgis, and on behalf of Warren Hunt and our company, we are thrilled to be here today standing in front of this prestigious group. And I also want to congratulate all the other nominees and the winners tonight. A little bit more about our company. As they mentioned, we started in 1990, and we still have our very first account that Mr. Hunt sold back in 1990, which is in Wichita, Kansas. Today we're serving about 65 colleges and universities across 8 states. Obviously, Iowa is one of them now that Mr. Hunt started. So we go as far north to Nebraska and then all the way through Texas, New Mexico, and pretty much in the Midwest. So one thing that we look at as we grow our business is a true partnership. And, you know, it's not just about making money, the bottom line, and about all the things that a big business would want. But one of the things that the company was built on is finding that niche within the community college era that was growing rapidly in the 90s to the early 2000s. And so we were very excited to be part of not only this campus community, but all the other campuses that we've taken on over the years. And as also was mentioned, a lot of our marketing and strategy is based on word of mouth. So this campus has been very active in helping us attain additional accounts within the Iowa area, as well as across the Midwest. So for that, we're forever grateful. And again, I do want to let you know Mr. Hunt is unable to make it tonight. He is living his best life, I think, in retirement down in Warsaw, Missouri, near Truman Lake, and enjoying his family and friends there. And he sends his regards. And one other thing I want to point out is as we look at engaging with our campus, this type of award means so much because as we're selling and we're talking to our other clients, is one of our goals as the current administration is we don't want to be a vendor on your campus. We want to be a partner. We want to be part of the community. And this type of honor just solidifies that we're being successful in that. So I can't thank you enough, the committee, Mr. Beneke, for all his support over the years, and all the students that we serve, about 18,000 students we have the opportunity to serve each day. So we are excited about that. We love what we do. Our staff is amazing. The staff here, from the time I've been with the company, about 11 years now, and I came right when this facility was built. And you know, Monica and Steve were here at the time, and they just ran with this, and they made it the great feeding, the great events, and all the things that happen today. So again, thank you, and I hope you enjoy your meal tonight. And if you don't, I do have our VP of Operations here tonight, so all complaints go to him. Again, thank you very much.
To be clear, he's really tall, I'm not short. Just one additional note on that. When Great Western Dining says that they're looking for partnerships, just another example, in our capital campaign for the Center for Performing Arts, which has nothing to do with feeding students in this building, they were our second largest contributor with a $500,000 donation. So again, we appreciate your partnership with Great Western. Thank you. What's great about awards night, it's when we're running ahead of schedule. Isn't that fantastic? Which means we have extra time to bid on donation items. And since we're an educational institution, did you know there's research that shows the direct correlation between the amount of alcohol consumed and the bidding amounts that increase? But anyway, just a couple of reminders. There's an auction going on. There's a cash bar on both sides. But more importantly, just a couple of additional folks that I want to make sure to recognize. First off, my cabinet, my senior leadership team, my VPs, if you could please stand up and give them a round of applause who on the day-to-day basis work to ensure the student success. Thank you. And they babysit me. So veterans, if you are a veteran, we will be celebrating on Monday with a couple of different events, but if you are an active or active duty military or a veteran, can you please stand up so we can thank you for your fantastic service. Thank you. One other person I wanted to mention, I would not be able to, I felt bad because Mel, I mean, after 54 years, you still got it with your wife, man. Congratulations. And I wanted to thank my wife, Amy, for 10 years of a wonderful, happy marriage. We'll be celebrating our 19th anniversary this summer. But thank you to her for all of the things she does to be supportive and allow us to be successful here at Iowa Central. So thank you, Amy. Yeah, stand up. You should stand up. Yep, there it is. Okay, it is now time for the best part of the evening, according to some. Mary Ludwood is in the back, and I believe she's also raising money. If you want to slip in line, she'll take cash. But she will be dismissing tables for supper this evening. In the meantime, feel free to visit the silent auction items as well as the cash bars. So please enjoy your meal. Thank you. will be beginning in about 7 minutes. For those who are keeping tally, my dinner is currently at about gourmet mac and cheese level, so we're making progress on that. So one of my favorite activities is on Saturday game days when we host recruits all around from the state and country, et cetera, and I enjoy going and interacting with them and asking. I'm sure Coach Montalto doesn't like me interacting with them because it probably doesn't help them actually get here, but I try. But I was at the game today, which, by the way, we solidified our bowl eligibility today with our win. Congratulations, Coach Montalto and his staff. Took care of the #1 rushing offense in the entire country today, so good for them. But after I visited with some recruits, I was heading over to the sideline there, and Coach Twade had another recruit sitting next to him. I'm like, geez, this kid is huge. He looks almost more like a defensive end than anything else. And I walk up, and Coach Twade immediately stands up and says, Dr. Hollick, I need to introduce you to one of our Hall of Fame inductees. What? This is Darylyn Dunn. I look at Darylyn and I'm like, I thought you were a recruit. You still got some eligibility left? But then throughout the game, I couldn't understand who was more excited, the Hall of Fame running back that we're about to introduce or Coach Twade, because something happened and we were running the ball today. Because Coach always says when you pass the ball, 3 things happen and 2 are not good. So we put on an absolute clinic today offensively on the ground, so kudos to our team. But that's a nice prelude to one of the fantastic Tritons that we have. And again, I do just want to make sure to know from the deepness of my heart, Coach Twade has served our institution so well during his tenure here, got our football program to where it needed to be, and then handed off that baton to the next generation. And he served us so well, and I'm going to miss him. But it's that time of the evening that we do transition to the athletic side. And I do want to make sure that we note that there's a purpose and a reason why we celebrate both. You know, we never want to be a community college who only cares about athletics or a community college that only cares about academics, because Iowa Central is who Iowa Central is because of our athletic program and our high academic standards that we have. And just to share a couple of accomplishments, last year we celebrated the highest graduation rate that Iowa Central has had in the last 25 years. And on top of that, last year we also celebrated the highest number of individuals of our athletes that made academic all-region that we've ever had at nearly 500 student athletes. So kudos to all of the folks who contributed to that. With that, the legend, the myth, who needs no introduction, but please welcome to the stage, Coach Kevin Twade.
Thanks, Dr. Ulrich. What a great night tonight is for Iowa Central. There's 2 guys, before I get into the first nomination, there's 2 gentlemen that I'm going to have stand real quick, 2 guys that are just, pillars of strength for our college and do an unbelievable job day in and day out when they were here. One hired me, and the other guy won about 400 baseball and about 400 softball games, and then I got to work under him as the football coach. He was AD as well. But if Coach Dennis Pilcher and Coach Rick Sandquist, 2 former legendary coaches and ADs, could please stand up. Come on, Coach. Come on, Coach. Yeah. Thank you. These guys go from Coach Pilcher as AD to Coach Sandquist, and then to me, just kind of keep doing what the heck they were doing, because it all seemed to work. But into our nominees for athletics. Our first Athletic Hall of Fame nomination comes from right here in Fort Dodge. Barb Crooks had an outstanding high school basketball career at Fort Dodge Senior High. Iowa Central was the beneficiary of her college decision, when she decided to keep her talents right here in town and play for the hometown Tritons. Barb's 2-year Triton career, which included both the 1990-91 season and the 1991-92 season, found her propelling our program to greater heights as she earned first-team All-Region honors both years. Her stats are crazy off the charts. When she left the Triton women's basketball program after the 1992 season, she exited as our all-time leading scorer, all-time leading rebounder, our all-time leader in block shots, and all-time leader in defensive steals. Now, that's crazy. More impressive than being our career leader in those 4 categories are the words of Jerry Malloy. Coach Malloy was the head women's basketball coach here at the time. And Coach Malloy said, as good as Barb was on offense, she was probably better on defense. She made it very difficult for our opponent's best player to score. When you're the team's best offensive player, the team's best defensive player, and the best rebounder, that's really special. And we're celebrating a very special player here tonight in Barb Crooks. Stats are great, numbers don't lie, we all know that, and many great players have them. Barb Crooks, though, brought much more than that, than just stats and numbers to our program. The true impact players make those around them better, and our tremendous teammates. Listen to the words of Coach Malloy in his enthusiastic nomination of Barb for the Hall of Fame induction. And this is what Coach Malloy wrote. I had the good fortune to coach Barb at Iowa Central for 2 seasons. She was a truly dominant force for those 2 seasons on our women's basketball teams. Barb was an extremely gifted athlete. After her 2 seasons here, the statistical numbers she was able to put up speak for themselves. And once again, she left as our all-time leading scorer, leading rebounder, shot blocker, and defensive steals made. But more importantly, on and off the court, Barb displayed a calm, quiet, and unassuming demeanor. She was a consummate team player, unselfish, both on and off the court. Barb made her teammates better. Being a quiet leader, Barb demonstrated an outstanding work ethic and, above all, great sportsmanship. I heartily recommend Barb Crooks to be a recipient of the 2024 Iowa Central Hall of Fame Award. And you think about those words that Jerry Malloy used. Unassuming demeanor, consummate team player, unselfish on and off the court, made teammates better, quiet leader, outstanding work ethic, displayed great sportsmanship. Those qualities that Barb brought to our teams in the early 90s are more powerful than the raw numbers that she put up night in and night out. And those are qualities that make a team. And those qualities propel people to Hall of Fame status. Barb Crooks also received a letter of support from VP of Student Services, Tom Beneke, endorsing her for admittance to our Hall of Fame tonight. Now, this guy knows basketball. He played at Palmer on great teams, was a great player here for Coach Pilcher, played at Northwestern College, and actually was an assistant coach here for Coach Malloy at one time, and also was our head women's basketball coach here at Iowa Central during his early tenure at Iowa Central. Here's what Tom had to say regarding Barb. Barb Crooks made a profound impact on the Iowa Central women's basketball program during her tenure from 1990 to 1992. Her contributions were nothing short of transformative, helping to elevate a struggling program into one known for its competitiveness and success during the 1990s. Barb's stats alone underscore her remarkable talent and dedication. Beyond scoring, Barb was also a force on the boards, setting a career record 588 rebounds. Her statistical achievements alone speak volumes about her skill and impact on the court. Under the guidance of Coach Jerry Malloy, Barb emerged not only as a top performer, but also as a true leader and role model within the team. Her work ethic and determination were exemplary, setting a standard of excellence that inspired her teammates and contributed significantly to the program's success. Barb's leadership was recognized with 2 consecutive first-team All-Region selections, a testament to her outstanding performance and influence on the game. Even beyond her stats and awards, Barb Crooks left an indelible mark on Iowa Central's basketball program. She broke records in both scoring and rebounding during her 2 years, cementing her legacy as one of the program's all-time greats. Today, Barb continues to reside in Fort Dodge, embodying the values of dedication, leadership, and sportsmanship that are hallmarks of a Hall of Fame athlete. Her nomination comes with the highest regard from all of us who had the privilege of witnessing her contributions to the Iowa Central athletic history. So that's very high praise from a guy who knows basketball inside and out. The words he chose to describe Barb: true leader, role model, work ethic, determination, all Hall of Fame qualities for sure. When I called Barb and asked her what her favorite memory or maybe favorite moment was at Iowa Central, she confided to me that it was hard to narrow it down to 1 or 2, but the night she scored 39 points was a night she will never forget. Now think about that, 39 points in one game. Hell, I tried to score 25 before Christmas, maybe 25 after Christmas, in a good year, She threw in 39 in the game. Crazy. Barb still resides in Fort Dodge and has had a positive impact for over 40 years in our community. She has worked at Fort Dodge Animal Health, the Fort Dodge Correctional Facility, and is now employed as an administrative assistant in the Fort Dodge school system. Current head Triton women's basketball coach Sabah Dickerson, whose squad competed today in Kansas City and won last night and today, by the way, had these words to say regarding Barb's induction. Iowa Central women's basketball is excited to celebrate Barb Cook's induction into the Iowa Central Athletic Hall of Fame. To this day, 32 years after Barb played here at Iowa Central, she is still #1 in program history in career block shots, #1 in program history in defensive steals, 3rd all-time in career scoring with 1,102 points, and there's only 4 women in the history of our basketball program on the women's side that have achieved 1,000. She's one of the 4. And Barb is 4th all-time in career rebounds. She paved the way for the Triton women's basketball teams she played on here to earn 35 victories in her 2 years. Congratulations to Barb and the entire Crooks family on this incredible achievement. Once a Triton, always a Triton. That's a tremendous shout out from someone who's on the bus coming back from Kansas City, our coach, current coach, Sabah Dickerson. Let's welcome into our Athletic Hall of Fame a lady that dominated both sides of the court, who 32 years later is still plastered all over our Triton women's basketball record books, and someone who can certainly put the round thing in the round thing. Class of 2024, Triton Athletic Hall of Famer Barb Cooks.
Woo, that was a lot. Gosh, I had a little speech together, but now, listening at all that, I really don't know what to say. Thank you, Coach Twait. Thank you, Mr. Beneke, for your nomination and your kind words, and Mr. Malloy. First, I want to give thanks to God for allowing me to be here today in person to be able to receive this special honor. I want to thank my family, my fiance Dedrick, my brother Johnny, sister Chris and Centronell, my nieces Audie and Santana, and my great nephew Crew, as well as my great family friends that's sitting at the 2 tables. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. My baby all right? That's my little great nephew. I just want to give thanks, to being able to, be able to play for Iowa Central and to still hold the records. I've always been a team player, so when I was playing ball, I always strived to try to make sure my teammates was just as good as me. When you push and help out, you become a great team, and you guys bond so well. So I always wanted to, when you see the best in somebody, you try to bring it out of them. And sometimes, it's easy, and other times it's rough. Sometimes you got to get tough with them. Sometimes you got to show them and, talk to them and lift them up and let them know to bring out the best in them. And that's what we did as teammates. We pushed each other and enjoyed the season. They always looked at me like, now I'm no bully, but, we played some rough teams, and if they intentionally try to hurt one of our players, so they'll look at me, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go down, and I'm going to help you out now. So, I would be, at the moment, the dirty player. If they made one of my teammates nose bleed or whatever, yeah, they got the elbow or something, or when I was going up for a shot. But anyways, no, I just want to thank you guys so much for this honor. I'm real nervous up here. But, and again, Coach Twait, when you called me and about my favorite memory, and I told you it was 49 points, I was just waking up. You asked if this was a good time. I was like, yeah. I was asleep. My great nephew was in my arm, and we was in the recliner. I kind of cleared my throat, and I was like, trying to give myself an extra 10 points, but yeah, it was 39. But thank you. But yeah, I just want to thank the Hall of Fame committee and all of Iowa Central for recognizing me and giving me this recognition. It means a lot to me, and I want to congratulate all the other inductees, and that's really all I got to say. God bless.
Thank you, Barb. Our next inductee is someone I had the pleasure to coach. In my 22 years as head football coach here at Iowa Central, I was blessed to have recruited and have secured the services of many tremendous players, many outstanding students, and many wonderful human beings that were just great teammates and squad members. Our next nominee batted 100% in all three of those arenas. Darylyn Dunn, a Bloomington, Illinois native, came to us in the fall of 2009. He had a fine freshman season as our backup tailback, rushing for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 4.6 yards per carry average. But what stood out most about Darylyn his freshman year was how he attacked his academics, how he hit the books, and what type of teammate he was. He did not miss class, sported above a 3.0 GPA, took a mature approach to college, made great choices socially, and was someone his teammates admired and respected because of how he carried himself on our campus. Darylyn backed up a running back from Fairfield, Iowa that year, who was a sophomore, a guy named Wilmot Wellington, who rushed for over 1,200 yards and was an All-American when Darylyn was just a freshman. Darylyn was mature enough to understand if he continued to progress, continued to work his tail off in the classroom, weights, agilities, the whole deal, he could be the man the next year in 2010 and tote the rock for us his sophomore year. After a tremendous offseason with weights, agilities, and spring ball, Darylyn Dunn came to fall camp his sophomore year with something to prove. And did he ever? He prepared like a champion. The results speak for themselves. His 2010 fall campaign here on the gridiron found him rushing the ball 226 times for 1,316 yards, 19 touchdowns, and that was only in 10 games. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry. Now keep this in mind. Everybody knew what the hell we were going to do, okay? We sure weren't going to throw a forward pass in a game. You know, we did that in practice every now and again just to cheer up the receivers, I guess. But, you know, we were going to run the ball, and everybody kind of knew that, and he still averaged, you know, whatever he did, 5.8 yards a carry. He helped lead our squad to a 32-7 victory over Rochester Community College in the North Star Bowl that year up in Rochester, Minnesota, and for his efforts, he was named second-team NJCAA All-American. What sticks out most to me about Darylyn was the way he practiced football. We had this deal we call it fire hose, okay? So you have a quarterback and a fullback and a tailback on this hose, and they're painted up where the center's going to be, guard, tackle, and all that stuff. So you make sure the quarterback's always getting the ball in there properly. We're getting a big pocket, and you're running the ball. You know, you're wrist higher than your elbow, and you're squeezing the tar out of the football so it doesn't come out. You know, at the end of the play, you're supposed to have the ball in your hand if you're running the ball. That's how it works. And then we put cones out there about 25 yards. It'd be a really good idea if you ever wanted to play in a game to run through the cones, you know, 25 yards hard as you can. This cat went 60 yards every time. I'd never seen it before. We always had guys run 25 because we got a bunch of high school Harrys early that, you know, they thought they could run about 10. That'd be okay. That wasn't a good thing here. They went 25. But he went 60 yards every time. And what happened was all the rest of the guys started doing that too then. And it wasn't just 60 yards in a straight line. I mean, it's making cuts, it's doing this. And it was refreshing to see someone work that hard, whether it was, you know, below zero wind chill and we're getting ready for a bowl game, or whether it was 100 degrees, hot, humid in August, or whether it was a beautiful football day like today, you know, whatever it was. But he did it. Darylyn never had to run his mouth to let people know how good he was. He did all of his talking with his arms, his legs, his helmet, and his shoulder pads. Dunn played the great game of football with his head and with his heart. He always gave credit to the O-line, the tight ends, and the fullbacks who helped pave the way for him. Teammates were not jealous of Darylyn's success because he handled it the right way. Darylyn Dunn was not the fastest tailback I ever coached. In fact, his straight line speed was probably a bit below average for that position here. However, I never saw him get caught from behind when he broke one. He broke a bunch of them. There's something called track speed, and there's something called football speed. Darylyn Dunn possessed football speed, and instinct you just can't coach. You can't coach it. I'm not sure we ever had anyone more productive at the running back position than Darylyn Dunn. We had some really good ones over the 22 years I had the pleasure to be the head coach here. Bob Brabender, our offensive coordinator here during Darylyn's career, had this to say about him. Darylyn Dunn was an outstanding student athlete at Iowa Central. He succeeded in the classroom, graduated with a 3.5 GPA. As a player, he came every day to improve himself and his teammates. During his sophomore year, it seemed like any time the offense needed a spark, Darylyn would rip off a long touchdown run for us. Darylyn had a great athletic career at Iowa Central, but was more impressive about him was the kind of person he was and the kind of person he developed into while at Iowa Central. A young man who did things the right way in the classroom, socially, in the weight room, on the practice field, and on the game field. He was deeply respected by his coaches, his teammates, and the whole Iowa Central community. And that's high words of praise, because Bob didn't give a lot of praise. You know, Coach Braben, he didn't just do that for the heck of it. So that's pretty cool. Triton running back coach Steve Drew at the time, who coached Darylyn, had these words to say about Darylyn Dunn. You never had to wonder what you're going to get from Darylyn. You got his best shot every day. He was consistent, he was steady, he invested daily and truly wanted to get better. It was no accident he had a great career here at Iowa Central. He earned it. His work ethic and ability to lead by example was unmatched. The other running backs in our program watched how he did things and wanted to be just like him. It's easy to coach when your best player on Saturday is also your best player during the week in practice, and you coaches in the room know that. When your best player is a great practice player, it's easy. It all works. Talk is cheap, actions speak louder than words. Darylyn Dunn did things the right way every single day and never wavered. That's coming from Steve Drew, his running back coach. When I asked Darylyn about his most fond memories here at Iowa Central, there were 3 of them. His first one was when the head coach, at the time, I don't know who that guy was, messed up the hotel reservation. We ended up staying in a much more extravagant hotel than we normally got to. He and his teammates really enjoyed that, and I got my tail chewed by Coach Pilcher at the AD at the time when that did happen. So, yeah, I remember that well, too. Number 2, the North Star Bowl victory up in Rochester, celebrating that win bowl victory with his teammates. It was not balmy in late November in Rochester. It was about 14 degrees above zero, but it was a great victory. Then, how about this? Being casted in Teresa Jackson's Hairspray theater production. Kudos to you, Jackson, you know. Turning him into a thespian as well as a heck of a running back. Way to go, way to go. Upon graduating from Iowa Central, Darylyn secured a scholarship from Illinois State University and had an immediate impact on their success as a football program. It was very rewarding for him to secure the scholarship opportunity at a great FCS football program right in his hometown. He also had a tremendous successful coaching career. You know, he was named the Illinois State Girls Basketball Coach of the Year a couple years ago. That's pretty cool. And that guy could play basketball. I mean, he was really good. Yeah. Darylyn has made Triton Nation proud. All-American status here, tremendous player at Illinois State, and one of the top high school basketball coaches in the state of Illinois. When we induct him tonight, here's what we're getting. An academic all-region player, an NJCAA All-American football player who rushed the ball for 1,632 yards here, 23 touchdowns, and scored a 5.5 yards per carry average in his 2 seasons here. And most importantly to me as a coach, one of the finest teammates you could ever hope for as you build the culture and environment that you want to have within your football program. The saying, good things happen to good people, is coming true tonight as we welcome Darylyn Dunn into our Triton Athletic Hall of Fame. Congrats, Double D!
Hey, congratulations.
Pardon. All right. I don't know how to follow that up, but again, Coach Slate, thank you. Thank everybody for being here. I also want to thank God for getting me here safely and my family. Huge shout out to my wife and my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter. Also, my mom had been present. My dad couldn't make it here tonight, but he sends his blessings. But again, I couldn't get through this without my mom and all the Walmart trips and getting me all the food and stuff like that from me and my roommates. And I did share a room with 2 of my old linemen, so they ate good. So on Saturday, we were able to perform. I also want to thank the committee for it's very humbling, you guys, to be worthy of the Hall of Fame, being considered, but also being a part of something that's very rare. And obviously those, Barb, Great Western, and the rest of you guys that are being named in the Hall of Fame, it's very humbling to be amongst you guys, but also understand that you guys accomplished something very great to be nominated, but not only going to the Hall of Fame because it's very rare. It's very, very little people in that company. So again, you guys and those accomplishments, congratulations as well. I like to start with one of my favorite quotes, winning mindset can transfer underdogs into champions. And that quote sticks to me because, again, it's all about what you feel is going to be a championship for you. And for me, being one of the few of my biological siblings to not only go to college but also get a college degree, thing like for me, that's a championship. To go to college, be named All-American, also be all academic, and again, coming from where I come from, again, to be deemed as a higher-ups, not only a good football player, but again, don't be a dumb jock. And so for me, those things are the things that stand out to me the most. And again, I'm not long-winded. I'm just going to go off my notes here. And I didn't really write a lot of stuff down because I wanted this speech to be authentic and also you guys get everything that's coming out from not only me but from the heart. I like to thank the coaches, especially Coach Twait, all the kind words. Coach Conley was here when I was here. Coach Mann, somewhere around there. Coach Murphs, I think he's over here. All those guys, again, not only for believing in me but also pushing me every single day. Seeing Coach Conley every single day coming out of my dorm room. He held it down on campus all the time. I don't think I had a 9 o'clock bedtime before I met Coach Twait. So, so again, just those things, those values, those are things that I carry every single day. Again, Ms. Jackson as well, getting me out of my comfort zone. Some of my fondest memories here at Iowa Central, so shout out to Ms. Jackson as well. And Coach Twait talks a lot about one of the things that I carry on with me every single day, and he talks about slant. And that means, again, sit up, lean forward, act interested, nod your head, track the teacher with your eyes. And for those that don't know what slant means, again, you guys probably use this every day in your everyday lives, whether it's a professional setting, or whether it's a job interview, or whether you're, again, a lot of my athletes that I deal with when I'm coaching girls basketball, again, eye contact, again, all those things are very, very important to me. So slant will stick with me forever. That's one of the biggest things that I take away from this. And again, just hard work. Keeping the main thing the main thing. I knew coming here it was about academics, but also being able to have life-changing experiences, and that was the main thing for me. Being able to come here and play football and just putting your head down and work as hard as you can work. When I got here, and again, that's the unique thing about junior college, there were 25 other running backs. And some people shy away from that. Some people may fold in those situations, but all it is, put my head down, work hard, and try to be out the next person in front of me. And like they say, cream rise to the top. And so, again, being able to not only be humble and do things the right way, but also practice what you preach. Coach gave us the blueprint. We followed it. And, again, here we are at the Hall of Fame speech. So, again, I'm very thankful for that as well. It's ironic that we're here standing here having this conversation right now. And two of the most influential people that I had when I was at Iowa Central was not only Coach Twait, but also Ms. Jackson. And so they're putting this thing together and they're introducing everyone, and she's bringing other people up in the Hall of Fame as well. Those are probably two of the most people that have the biggest impact on me when I was here, the ones that believe me in the most, and the ones that I stay in contact with over years. I mean, this is 13 years ago, and still to this day, talk to Coach Twait on a regular basis, and me and Ms. Jackson stay in contact, whether it's Facebook or Messenger, and those are things that, again, you have those lifelong memories, and that's what sticks out. Coming here, I knew that football was going to be one of the things, but I never thought I would be in hairspray. So, and for those that don't know, again, it's like we talk about the finest memories and things like that. I went through football practice. I went through 2-a-days. We went through meetings, and when those meetings start at 6 a.m. and you don't get home till 9 p.m., again, you think it's hard until you go to hairspray practice. So again, those theater practices, and again, Ms. Jackson worked this. We start practice at early in the morning, and sometimes we can get home till midnight. And again, those are just some of those things where not only you learn accountability, but understanding that you're doing your part and how you carry yourself and prepare, whether it's football or whether it's in a play or in a theater setting, you know that other people are relying on you for their successes. And so taking all those values and those tools, I try to implement those things in my athletes as well, so that they know that in the basketball world, we say do your 1/5. every person's relying on everyone else. If you don't set the ball screen the right way, then the other person can't score. If you don't do this, then that person can't have success as well. So being able to not only use the domino effect to have success off each other, those are two great values that I take away from Ms. Jackson, Coach Choate, that I learned here. What I can say about Iowa Central, it looks completely different from when I was here 13 years ago. We got about 30 more restaurants. If you want to fine dining, you were going to the Mineral Grill down on 5th Street. Now there's a platoon of restaurants. We had the McDonald's over there on the other side of the campus, and if that one was closed, you had to get the late night menu on 5th Street. So again, things have changed, but it's changed for the better. You can see the growth. Iowa Central's growing. They're continuing to grow. This is a great environment. The graduation rates were really, really high. Academics, the teachers care. You can reach out to your academic advisors and things like that. They all want to see you succeed. So coming to Iowa Central was never a mistake. I love this place. This is one of my favorite places. I wish it was closer so I can come here more often, but again, being 6 hours away, it's not really a frequent thing. But seeing the growth and seeing the change around Iowa Central, I would definitely recommend this to not only my athletes, but also those that also ask about junior college and community college, because again, it's not about the athletics and all the academics and things like that, but lifelong relationships, and this does feel like a family environment. I can't express how thankful I am to having everybody that I come across at Iowa Central and still have those relationships 10 and 15 years later to where we still interact and still contact each other. So again, I'm really, really thankful for that from the bottom of my heart. Most humbling thing ever is, again, thank everyone for the Hall of Fame, the committee, the coaches, the teachers, everyone that helped me get here, my family, my wife, my 3-year-old daughter that keeps me busy there all the time. And again, just want to say, you guys, I'm thankful from the bottom of my heart, and God bless.
People always make fun of me because I write stuff down, you know, and the first phone he had didn't work, you know, so nothing wrong with writing stuff down too, done every now and then, you know. Our final individual athletic Hall of Fame honoree is a local product. Bobby Thompson grew up on the northwest side of Fort Dodge and developed an interest in wrestling at a very early age. He joined the Fort Dodge Mat Club as a second grader, and he has never looked back. Bobby had an extremely successful high school wrestling career. He earned a third-place finish in the state wrestling tournament as a sophomore and followed that up with runner-up finishes in both his junior and senior seasons at Fort Dodge Senior High School. He was a member of the 1980 Fort Dodge Senior High School State Championship wrestling team. Thompson spent a semester at Iowa State University before transferring to Iowa Central. The Tritons caught a huge break when Bobby Thompson decided to transfer here. He was a two-time All-American here. He finished second in the country as a freshman in 1985 and third in the nation as a sophomore in 1986. He helped lead the Tritons to 2 fifth-place finishes in the national team standings both his freshman and sophomore year. Bobby transferred to the University of Nebraska-Omaha after completing his AA degree here at Iowa Central. At UNO, Bobby was a 2-year starter who compiled a record of 61 wins and 15 losses. He was a team captain at UNO his senior year. After 2 years of competing for the Mavericks, Thompson became an assistant coach there for 3 years and assisted them in winning an NCAA Division II National Team Wrestling Championship. Bobby took several teaching and coaching positions at various high schools across the country before returning back to Fort Dodge. He has been at Fort Dodge Senior High School for the past 19 years, where he has had tremendous success coaching many outstanding teams. Here is what legendary Triton wrestling coach and Iowa Central Athletics Hall of Famer Denny Fredericks had to say about Bobby Thompson. Bobby Thompson has just completed his 32nd year of teaching in special education or at-risk positions. He has a total of 35 years coaching, counting his 3-year stint at the University of Nebraska-Omaha. His overall record for duels is 293 wins and 143 losses. His one-loss record for the Fort Dodge Dodgers is 191 wins and 83 losses. Bobby has coached 21 state champions, 95 state place finishers, and 232 state qualifiers. His teams have qualified the Iowa State Dual Championships 9 times, winning 7 team trophies. In 2018, His teams won both the Iowa High School Athletic Association State Dual Championship and the Traditional State Championship. He was named the 2018 Iowa High School Wrestling Coach of the Year. Bobby's philosophy of coaching has been much more than teaching technique and working his team into shape. He likes to think of it as developing the whole individual and preparing them for life outside of wrestling. He likes to think of his wrestlers as members of a family, which is made up of all his teammates, his coaches, his family, his school, and his community. Some of his teammates may never step on the mat as a varsity wrestler, but they are still important to the team. He believes wrestling is a character builder, and he wants his wrestlers to be a positive influence on the young wrestlers coming up. He wants his wrestlers to be role models. Many of his wrestlers have gone out into the community, helping others without fanfare or publicity. Bobby readily admits that a lot of his philosophy regarding coaching was inherited from his high school coach, Don Miller, and Don's in attendance tonight as well, and he's just carrying on the tradition of those who went before him. And, you know, those words come from someone who's an icon here, you know. It doesn't get any better than Coach Denny Fredericks. Great endorsement from Denny. Also nominating Bobby for the Hall of Fame award is legendary Fort Dodge Senior High School head wrestling coach Ed Birnbaum. Ed had this to say regarding the experience that Thompson is able to provide the student athletes that are part of the Dodger wrestling program. The biggest thing that sets Bobby apart from lots of coaches is the experiences he exposes his athletes to. His selflessness is unwavering. I've experienced firsthand the way Bobby treats his wrestlers, the resources he provides them, the bonds they develop with each other. I personally know many of the wrestlers that Bobby has coached, and the product he produces is a testament to his beliefs and to his character. I'll close with this statement about Coach Thompson. Kids that have been coached by him get out of high school athletics what high school athletics are designed to provide for kids. Very powerful words from an outstanding Fort Dodge wrestling guru, Ed Birnbaum. Also supporting Bobby for his nomination to our Hall of Fame was Fort Dodge wrestling icon Don Miller. Here's what Coach Miller had to say about Bobby. And these numbers are scary good. Bobby's teams in Fort Dodge have experienced tremendous success in both the state dual and traditional tournament formats. Here are the accomplishments. 2015, placed third in the traditional state tournament. 2016, placed second in both the dual and traditional tournament. 2018, won both the dual and traditional state championships. Placed third in both the dual and traditional state tournaments in 2020 and again in 2021. Last year, finished fourth in both the dual and traditional state tournaments. Anybody that knows Fort Dodge, what a proud, proud, proud tradition for years and years in the sport of wrestling. And this guy's carried that the mantle and the torch for it lately. Bobby Thompson has also coached Fort Dodge's first ever three-time and first ever four-time individual state champions. As you can see, Bobby has experienced iconic success while leading the Dodger wrestling program. He would be an outstanding candidate for induction into the Iowa Central Community College Athletic Hall of Fame. And that's a great endorsement from his high school wrestling coach, an icon in the sport, Don Miller. When I asked Bobby about his most fond memory of his time here at Iowa Central, he didn't hesitate at all. His best memory is that of the people here at Iowa Central. He specifically mentioned Coach Fredericks and longtime Iowa Central instructor Dr. Tony Colvet. But in the same breath stated that so many people here at Iowa Central had such a positive impact, not just the coaches and the teachers, but staff members in the advising admissions area, in the cafeteria, custodians, etc. They had such a positive impact on his life as a student and as an athlete. Bobby said the wonderful people here at Iowa Central were life-changing to him and helped him set him up for success moving forward beyond Iowa Central. Another great memory for Bobby was when he had ruptured a disc in his back in 1986, and Coach Fredericks drove him to Minneapolis to stay at his brother's house for a week and get his back worked on by legendary Minnesota Vikings place kicker Fred Cox. Now, Fred had retired as a football player, but not yet as a chiropractor, and Coach Frederick's brother, also was able to set up Bobby so Bobby got daily chiro appointments from number 14, Minnesota Viking. I'm a Minnesota Viking guy. Fred Cox, a great kicker. Then another thrill during that trip is Coach Frederick's brother lined up the University of Minnesota wrestling room for Bobby to train in as he was kind of recovering from that disc. And up in the University of Minnesota area, up in Minneapolis, there's a guy from Iowa State and Algona named John Thorne, who was a wrestling legend, and Bobby got to wrestle with John Thorne for that week at the University of Minnesota's wrestling room. So got a ruptured disc. Coach Fredericks drives him up to Minneapolis, stays with his brother for a week, and then gets work done by Fred Cox, Hall of Fame place kicker. That's a chiropractor, and gets to train at the University of Minnesota with a legendary wrestler from Algona that went to Iowa State. So that's pretty cool. And Bobby's a Minnesota Viking fan, by the way, which makes you a pretty good guy, by the way, Bobby. Pretty good stuff. So our final Hall of Fame nominee excelled as a competitor at both the high school and collegiate levels, has excelled as a coach at both the high school and collegiate levels, and to this day continues to lead one of the finest high school wrestling programs, not just in the state of Iowa, but in the entire country. Fort Dodge High School is renowned not just in Iowa, but in the country, to unprecedented success. Let's welcome into the Iowa Central Athletic Hall of Fame, Fort Dodge's own Bobby Thompson.
Needed Dr. Ulrich to introduce me so the microphone would be adjusted. Coach Twait's a little bit taller. Thank you, Coach Twait. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the honorees being nominated today, and it's a privilege to be going in alongside such great people that have had so much success, not only on the athletics or academics or just in the community. It's an honor, it's humbling, so thank you for that. I'd like to take the time to thank Dr. Ulrich, Tom Beneke, Jimmy Kirsten, and everybody, all the staff that was here. Coach mentioned that, this is a pretty special place. And when I came here, I probably was a pretty marginable student at best, and I really had no intention of wrestling. Coach Fredericks, I was done after Iowa State, and Coach Fredericks took me out to dinner and said, just listen to me, and threw me a pitch, and thankfully he did, because of Coach Fredericks, Coach Hyman, all the staff members, Tony Colvett, Dean Kramer. There's too many to mention, but they definitely changed the direction of my life, my career pathway. There's definitely no way I would be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for this great institution and all the people that had a role in, from day one on campus to the day I left, and then even after that. Because it was like a family thing, and that's kind of how, I've developed the philosophy that I have. Coach Fredericks didn't just leave me when I was done here. He continued to push me to do the right thing. So thank you, Coach Fredericks and his wife, Jan. Recognize Coach Don Miller and his wife, Bonnie. Thank them. And again, thank everybody, and congratulations, and go Iowa Central.
My agenda's written down, Coach. Maybe we should, listen to all these athletic accomplishments. I felt good about myself because I was on the Peloton twice this week, and gosh, listen to all this. I haven't done jack. So anyway, we are going to take a 10-minute break. During this 10-minute break, a couple important reminders. At the end of the 10-minute break is going to be the end of our silent auction. So whoever is bidding on the drill barbershop package can stop while I go over there and go ahead and wrap that up. So again, at the end of 10 minutes, we're going to induct our team, our wrestling team. So grab your final drinks, etc., and then we'll be back, and the silent auction will be closed. Okay, a couple of housekeeping items. Number one, you can check your silent auction items at the end of the event. If you won, that's what silent auction is winning, then you take the yellow sheet with you to the boardroom that's behind us, to my right, your left. Boardroom, take the yellow sheet, and you can meet there. The centerpieces, this is a new item this year. The beautiful centerpieces are also for sale. If you would like one of them, go ahead and take the tag in the middle of your table, and you can pay for that. Hey guys, if you've really screwed up here as of late, it'd be a cheap flower deal. Or if you plan on screwing up this week, you can pre-buy one. I mean, that's probably what I'm going to do. All right. Without further ado, someone I will not have to raise the microphone stand for. If legendary coach Luke Moffitt come on down to the podium to introduce our class.
Small adjustment. No, I'd just like to thank everybody, thank the Hall of Fame committee, thank Iowa Central. Let's get the boys up here. Come on up. Just like the old days, trying to wrangle them all back into Fort Dodge was a task. There's a lot of times I was trying to wrangle them to class, wrangle them to practice early morning. We got quite a few guys back. Pretty grateful for that. Thinking about this team, I mean, 3 words that stick out to me: grateful. You know, Iowa Central set the stage. Our job was to come in here, win a national title, and do as best as we could to further these guys in their careers and do the best we could with them. And it's easy to kind of get into that mode when you live in Fort Dodge, Iowa, when you live in the state of Iowa. It's a wrestling state. This town is Wrestletown, USA, Fort Dodge, Iowa. And no better place to make a run at winning national titles than here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. This team right here, the 2009 team, did some great things. They set a bar pretty high that till this day, I still compare a lot of what they did to try to get our teams to hit that level, and they set it so high it's really hard to match. You know, going through the season, not just junior college, winning every single dual meet, but going to the national duels where you're trying to win a national dual championship, so you get to the finals and you beat the team 47-0. I mean, it's never been done by any team at any level. And then going to the regional tournament, putting 10 guys in the finals, 7 champs, and turning around a week and a half later and going to the national tournament. 8 All-Americans, putting 6 guys in the finals, which has never been done. Winning 55 guys national champs, 50% of the weight classes were Iowa Central national champs. Is pretty hard to beat, and these guys set the bar pretty high. Another thing that comes to mind, loyalty. I mean, it wasn't just it was every guy in the room. They were committed, team driven. We had guys in the room that maybe weren't one of the 10, but added to the power that this team had. We had guys that weren't one of the 10 that transferred and were impact guys. All these guys were impact guys, but transferred, and, you know, Kenny Anderson, you know, he transfers out of Iowa Central, never a starter, and then goes to Wartburg and wins 3 national titles. You know, so there was some firepower in the room. And I guess more than anything, you know, thank you, Iowa Central, for setting the stage for this team and for the success, and thank you. I'll hand it over to Phil Manzik here.
Is everybody having a good time? Food was good? All right. Yeah, the heavyweight closing it down. So my name's Phil Manzik, and I was a member of the 2009 National Championship Wrestling team. I'm a father to 6 kids, and I've been married for 12 years to my wife, Dr. Amanda Manzik. I just call her Mandy. But I was asked to give a brief speech about my experiences being part of this history-making team. I've wrestled with multiple programs. I've been Iowa Central. I went on to wrestle for West Virginia University, and then, speaking the mic more? You're right. So I've wrestled with multiple programs. Iowa Central, I went on to compete with West Virginia University. Then I was a member of the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club for about 4 years. But this program by far has had the most impact in my life. When I do speak about this program to friends and family, I speak on the immense pride I have for my teammates. I speak on the life lessons that I carry on to this day. I look up to my teammates then, and I still look up to them now. I can honestly say I've never met a more goal-oriented, focused, tough group of athletes in my life. These men taught me a lot about confidence and self-belief. I could go through each one of them and name something unique and special. For me, you know, everyone up here I have deep relationships with, even though it's just a couple years. I'll name a couple. I really admire the Banks brothers. Great guys, worked hard, very welcoming when I came here. Brad Lauer, a lot of grit. CT, good technician, Tanner. And there's Joe, a friend. So, and then there's a whole bunch of other guys that didn't come. So, but they're missed out. But not only were these men great friends, they were fierce competitors with high standards of winning and competing. So a lot of times people, you know, when you have these kind of records, it's set with the tone of the mindset. And, you know, our standard was to win and compete at a high and excellent level. They taught me to expect to win no matter the opponent. At tournaments, I'd often look to my teammates when you're nervous about to compete. I'd look into their eyes or see their warm-up routines, and I would notice that I was answered with iron resolve and a true desire to win and a will to be the best from my teammates. Those are the moments I carry with me during hard and challenging times in my own life. Success was the standard and expectation of our team. We, as a team, never lost a dual meet in 2 years that I went to Iowa Central and 3 years prior. There was a 5-year span of, you know, we all knew we couldn't be the team to lose the dual meet, and we weren't. We didn't drop the torch. That's for sure. A great memory was the National Dual Championships where we beat the team in the finals 47-0. That's just a standard of excellence. Oh, I missed my speech. So, I carry this expectation with me to this day, and I can tell you after, you know, watching my teammates on Instagram, Facebook, phone messages, catching up with them here, they still do too. Several of them are, I mean, honest to God, celebrity status, business owners, have great families. They've continued the cycle of excellence to all parts of their life. None of this would have happened without the leadership of our coaches. Coach at the time, Moffitt, McClintock, Coach Bennett, Kit. Coach Moffitt brought us all together and gave us a chance to attend the school and to compete. I know for me personally, Moffitt offered me a second opportunity, a second chance that turned my life around. So I speak for the team when I say thank you, coaches. I'd also like to thank my teammates for attending and the school, Iowa Central, the Hall of Fame Planning Committee. I know Mr. Beneke, I don't know where you are, but I haven't gotten to say hi to you yet, but thanks a lot. There he is. For hosting this event and honoring myself, coaches, and teammates. So thank you again.
Good job. bit. Let everybody in. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Okay, okay.
Front row. All right. Thank you.
Hey, Paul, I think McClintock was in the back row on that last one. If you could just Photoshop him to the front so people could see him, that'd be great. All right, a couple housekeeping. Again, if you won the silent auction, take your yellow piece of paper and pay in the boardroom, which is directly over here. If you'd like your centerpiece, make sure to take the tag. So I'm going to end with this. Iowa Central Community College is blessed to be able to have you here. We talk a lot. If you listen to the stories, our purpose is very, very simple. Our purpose is to bring students here to have them complete their degree and certifications in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of student loans so they can go on and have a better life. The stories that you heard tonight reinforce the better life. Not only did all of these individuals go and succeed and prosper, but they also gave back to their communities. They made their communities better places to be. Iowa Central is blessed to be able to have 1,200 employees across our 9 counties. We serve 6,200 students on the credit side, and we do nearly 15,000 people on the workforce development side on an annual basis. 77% of those who graduate from Iowa Central stay in our service region, and 86% stay in the state of Iowa. And what we're proud about that is that is a lot of better lives right here in our communities and in the state of Iowa. We would not be able to do it without the generous support of you, our community members, our alumni, and we thank you for being here, being a part of our story, and we would love the opportunity for you to share your story and how Iowa Central helped you and moved you, yourself, and your family forward. Thank you for being here tonight. Thanks for being a great audience, and go Tritons. Award winners may pick up their plaques up on the front and get their pictures taken with their families if they'd like.